Hello and welcome back to HD Movie Talk. I am your host, Dean's Beans, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and great co-host, a
Uh,
floofy doofy, aka
you're
Harlan Doofy.
you're too kind.
Harlan, we're here to talk about a film that is an inarguable fact.
Yes, we're going to talk about a film, and then also we're going to talk about how we make it better.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, Harlan. Please, can you just
Oh,
explain to me how the silver lining, which is what we're doing today, works?
so the silver lining is
I'm only asking because I think the audience should know. I haven't forgotten.
okay. Well, that's good because if you had forgotten, that would have been extremely embarrassing. Anyways, so the silver lining is our series where we take a bad movie, we talk about
I don't ask me which one goes first.
the good, and
Okay.
then we talk about
Bad.
the bad, and then we try to find the silver lining in the movie and make it better.
I realized when I sit just like this, it says something. It just says the word sad over my shoulder.
It's like your subconscious is reaching through to the
No
audience.
one could even read the other word. That doesn't matter. And also,
Well, to
people
our
are
visual listeners,
as well. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Space Jam: A New Legacy.
that's the movie we're talking. I don't think we've said that yet. We're talking about Space Jam:
It's in the
A New
title.
Legacy.
People
Oh,
have figured it out.
well,
Before
what if?
we talk about this film, can I please just tell you the saga of me watching this for the first time?
Yes,
You
please. I
probably
would.
know the story, but I think
I,
it's
I want to hear it again.
so. What year did this come out? 2021? Let's go with that.
Yeah.
I was going to the cinema to watch it by myself because I'm a sad guy. Okay. And I rock up to the cinema, sit down. I'm like, I know this can be a bad movie, but I'm going to watch it and just suffer for it. If it's in a cinema, like a movie's always better in the cinema, Like I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it slightly more than I would if I was,
Yeah.
let's say, sitting on a sofa about an hour ago watching it. Um, and I'm watching this film. It gets probably, I think, like halfway through, and then suddenly these sirens start going off, and like the screen goes black, and then this woman's voice is like, "Hey, the cinema's being evacuated." So I go stand outside the cinema for half an hour, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're not showing the film again, but we'll give you a free cinema ticket." And I go to the cinema for free because I've got one of those cards which lets me go for free. So that was a waste of time. So instead, I went and bought John Wick on DVD, and I went home, and I'd only watched half of this awful movie, and I still really wanted to finish it. So I bought it and finished it because I was like, I would need to finish this film, and I don't know why I felt that need to finish it, but I did. So the
So you
first time I
bought
watched
Space
it,
Jam.
yeah,
Maybe that's why you don't like John Wick that much.
maybe.
Like, is that the only time you've seen John Wick?
No, I bought John Wick on DVD and then watched it like a week later.
Okay, but still, like that, like
Yeah,
maybe you need to give like maybe you need to watch John Wick after watching The Boys or something. Like once you get in a good mood, then watch the movie.
watch
Not
like half of the boys and then watch John Wick and then watch the other half of the boys because this was a Space Jam sandwich, and I don't know why I went back to finish the film. Like I don't know what's wrong with me because
no,
clearly
I don't know what's wrong with you
broken.
either.
Clearly something's broken in my brain because for the next week I was like, I need to finish that obviously awful film.
We'll see. I had a not a similar experience,
Oh,
but
sorry. For anyone wondering, I don't know why the cinema was evacuated. I've got no idea.
oh,
Never
I would
found.
assume like a fire or something.
Yeah, but no like firemen or ambulances or anyone showed up. So I don't know.
Hmm.
Anyway, continue.
Um. So when this movie came out on HBO Max for me at the same
Yeah.
time it was in theaters, so I'm
Yes.
like I'm not gonna spend money on Space Jam.
Wow.
So I started watching it, but I
HBO.
also stopped watching it halfway through. Not because I had to be evacuated from my phone, but just because I got bored.
Yeah.
And
That.
I would have stopped watching it again if I didn't have to record it. Because I watched it last night.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, wait, no.
Watched it 2 nights ago because
I
that's.
watched no, I watched the first half 2 nights ago and I got bored, so I stopped watching it and I picked it up the night after.
But alas, the producer of this podcast told us we had to watch Space Jam: A New Legacy for it.
Really?
Yeah, that's why we chose it, isn't it? Our producer spoke to us that we have
Oh,
and was
yes.
like, hello, I'm a podcast producer. That's a real job. And I think You should talk about Space Jam: A New Legacy. Anyway, are we gonna start talking about the good things in this film?
Good. So my list. So like when we see what these movies, what I like to do is I like to put in my notes app the good things and the bad things.
Yeah, that's what I do as well. What?
And recently, for recent podcasts, I've been struggling writing down enough things.
Yeah.
So I challenged myself to have at least 7 of each.
Okay.
And I really struggled with the good.
I've actually got more than 7 good things, and I didn't like super struggle.
Really?
Some of them are, I'm not sure on. Okay. So can I
Okay.
just give you my first one?
Sure.
I think this film has cool opening credits. When it's all like, hey, LeBron James is such a good basketball player. Here's some cool clips of him with some like cool
Oh,
information over.
yeah, that is cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
fun.
agree with you.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, a good opening, I think.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Apart
Kind
from
of.
the we'll get to it.
Um I'm trying to
Every
think.
time I think about Space Jam, I'm just gonna move like here.
Sad.
Yeah, our visual audio listeners are gonna love that.
I think that kind of ties into one good thing I have here is that there's a lot of bad of this, but there's some good like creative CGI
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
interlaced between this movie. Like,
If
that opening sequence was good
if we're
when
talking about that, then I've got like 2D animation in the good because like
yes.
visually it looks pretty cool.
I think they did a good job making a LeBron James Looney
Yeah,
Tunes
yeah,
character. Um and like when he fell through like the Looney Tunes portal that was like kind of like a funnel sort of a thing. I'm
yeah.
like, okay, that's
And like and then it becomes a big basketball pile of dust, and he lands in a um
yeah.
a Nike logo, or as you would say, Nike logo.
You say Nike?
Yeah.
Okay, dude, that's just but it's Nike.
No, what? We're not getting into this because this was like 100% of our conversations when you were here.
We never talked about it.
No, but no, I mean just
We
this
never.
kind of
Why would you call it
pronunciation
Nike?
stuff.
It's
This
Nike.
pronunciation stuff.
Even the
Because
people.
that's how it's spelt. How do you say that? You don't
Okay,
say
bro,
hikey,
bro,
say hike,
bro,
hike,
bro. Even
bike,
the even the
like,
CEO of the company says Nike. He doesn't
bike,
say Nike.
psych.
But that's not what the word
Go
is.
on, give me another word that ends in IKE that is Ike.
That doesn't matter. It's a
Yeah, it
brand,
does.
bro. It's a brand. Brands can be pronounced however they want, but they have to determine it.
Okay, floofy doofy. My next good thing is kind of in the same thing. I like some of the 2D gags they do, especially at the start when like he paints a tunnel and then LeBron James runs into it.
Yeah, that Looney Tunes montage is good.
Yeah. Some
Also, that ties into another good thing. The Looney Tunes in this movie, I really enjoyed them.
I have some counterpoints to that, but we will get to it.
Well, okay, but like in a movie that's
We
made
will get to. No, I'm joking. Continue.
in a movie that's made for kids, I feel like they feel the most natural.
Okay, no, but big question here. Who
Ooh,
is this movie made for? Because so much of it is built up of, hey, look at this character from the 90s is in the background of this one scene. But this movie is clearly not for those people. But also those things kind of make it clearly not for kids either. I'm just confused about who this movie
okay.
is for.
Well, I think I don't look at it at that. Okay, we're talking about that basketball scene. I don't look at that as a bad like this movie's obviously made for kids. 100% it is a children's movie and they barely even thought of adults while making this.
I
But
think
but
there's enough.
the reason there are so many weird like Clockwork Orange, The Mask cameos is because Warner Bros. Just wanted to flaunt all
That's
their IPs.
kind of not what I was talking about, though. I was talking about like the Matrix sequence and the Mad Max sequence and that sort of thing.
Mm,
That isn't aimed at kids, clearly. So anyway, I think they were like, hey, let's make this movie for everyone, and they ended up making it for no one.
yeah, well, that Well, there's reasons why that might be the case later on. But let's continue.
I
Um,
think this film has two good jokes, maybe
Big
more.
Chungus.
No.
Yes, yes, that is in my good list.
Why?
It's because it's funny.
So I'm gonna get to this as a sort of a big picture thing later on, but Don Cheadle has a good delivery of one joke here, where he's talking to Dom, LeBron James's son, and he goes, "And I heard you hate video games," and then the thing whispers in his ears, and he goes, "Create video games." I was like, "That's a good joke."
I sure. I have nothing good to say about Don
Clever
Cheadle in this movie.
wordplay. I'm gonna get to Don Cheadle, okay. And the other good joke is when they go, "Oh, shoot the ball," and then he goes, "Pew pew 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 pew" at the ball. That made me laugh.
Um, cool villain design. Like the Goon Squad, I think has cool design besides one
Which,
character, the final one.
uh, yeah,
But I don't know why we're like trying not to spoil it. It's Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle turns into a big CGI dude at the end, and it doesn't look good.
isn't Don Cheadle? He's Al G.
Oh, sorry, sorry. The guy's Al Gore. Anyways, um,
Okay,
Michael Jordan joke. Michael Jordan
yeah,
joke.
I've put that down as well. Michael B. Jordan.
I knew like it's outline, but I'm still like, oh, that's funny. Like
Yeah.
that is.
The thing is, okay, I was going to talk about this in a bit. By the time I'd watched the first half of this film, like there's certain people that I will listen to every week whenever they post stuff, and like there was stuff about Space Jam which I was like, yeah, I'm going to listen to this because I don't care if this film gets spoiled for me. So I had stuff like the Michael B. Jordan, which is in the second half of the film, spoiled for me, which like
Um,
who cares? But I'm going to talk about. No, I'll save that tidbit for the bad. Okay. Um, I have the same thing written in the good list that I had written in the good list for another film, and you're never gonna guess what the three words are.
I know, so say it then.
Mr. Freeze pajamas. I
Yeah,
just thought
he's in
I
it.
had to include it again because like Mr. Freeze is in this. Sure, who cares, whatever. But they put him in the pajamas.
Well, right, because that would be easier to do than
No, I think they just Googled Mr. Freeze and that was the first picture. Mr.
honestly,
Freeze,
probably.
Arnold. I think that's all my good things.
One thing that was really distracting me during this entire movie is like, how did they get all those characters? Like, what I think is they just had a bunch of like extras, and they just had like, okay, sign up for who you want to be, and like a bunch of extras are just like check their name next to like the mask and um Clockwork Orange.
It was
Eh,
100% just a bad fancy dress store.
yeah, probably
Okay.
costume store. He meant to say
Okay, sure.
they call costume stores fancy dress stores.
I have, I have, I'm creating a new category for this week,
What?
and that is neither good nor bad.
Oh, I still have a good Pete. I
Oh,
mean,
sorry.
oh, I just told what my good thing is. I still have one more good thing.
Go on. I wonder
Pete.
what it is.
Pete. I liked Pete. Pete was funny. Pete might be my favorite part of this movie.
Okay. My favorite part of this movie is Mr. Freeze.
Okay. And
That
that
guy
is
looks like Arnold. So, like,
it, not kind of.
sure. Okay, my in between category. One of them you're really going to disagree with. The other one is just an observation. Um,
Okay.
I put this in my good list originally. I was like, I guess this isn't a compliment about the movie. This film literally says Warner Brothers make all their films by an algorithm to be as fan pleasing as possible. And I enjoy that fact that that's just a true thing in this film.
Well, I mean, yeah, but this movie is two Flexer IPs.
Yeah. But
Like
like
that's all this movie
just the
does.
fact that in this film they kind of just make they're like, hey, we like they kind of go, yeah, everything is made by an algorithm, and that's just a fact in this film. They're like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Oh
now
wait, but I do have one thing to point out this movie before we absolutely tear into it.
I do have yeah, okay, go on.
I think this movie, if you look at this first Space Jam, it made a lot of money, but it isn't like a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like fantastic. And I think they did a good job being like, okay, how can we take the first Space Jam and make it bigger and make it adapted to like today's day and age?
Yeah.
I think they tried and they just were stuck with a main character who couldn't act very well.
No,
And
the compliment I would give that is that they tried to do something else, but in the meeting they sat down and they went, "Hey, what's cool? Video games, big crossovers, what else? Yeah, big CGI animals, yeah." And then they all had a round of applause, and then the boss went, "Hey guys, great job today. You can all take the afternoon off," and then they took the rest of the day off.
okay, what were you gonna say?
Okay, okay, please just hear me out on this. Don't interrupt.
Okay.
Just let me get my point across. Because
So, anyways,
very
I was thinking
I knew
that
you
we
very early on in the film, I put Don Cheadle in my bad list for obvious reasons. But then there were like little glimpses throughout the film where I'm like, oh, there's kind of something there. Like he's kind of doing something, you know? He's kind of committing to this performance, and I respected that. And I have come to the conclusion that if this film was like 40% better, Don Cheadle would be amazing in it because he's really doing something, you know. And I feel like when we watch all these bad movies, a big complaint is that just none of the like there's just nothing there, and all these actors are doing nothing, and it's just nothingness. But there's something there for Don Cheadle, and there were moments where I was like, yeah, this is kind of like I get what he's going for here. And they were the moments where he wasn't aided by like CGI. They weren't making his voice loud and stuff like that. But there were like there's a bit later on where like he gives his team a big pep talk, and then he goes and sits down and he falls off the bench. And he's
yeah,
like,
that
"Oh, if we
was
could all move up." I was like, "Yeah, I get what this guy's going for, and I respect it."
okay.
Just
I
he's in
think
his own.
I think we can all come to the conclusion that
Mm.
Don Cheadle is a talented actor.
Yeah, have you seen his accent in Ocean's 11?
No, is it good?
It's awful. It's
Oh.
awful. Anyway,
Um, but I really just don't. Ignoring the writing,
mm-hmm.
I don't think this role was meant for him.
No, but like
Like,
I
you know
just
who I think could have done this a lot better?
do.
Kevin Hart.
I just don't like Kevin Hart, to be
You don't
honest.
like Kevin Hart?
No,
Come on.
that is like the epitome of like American comedy, but like the bad, like as derogatory. Because like I can say American comedy, and that can mean like something which isn't terrible, but I can also say American comedy, and that can mean something bad.
Well, I could say British comedy, and that could also mean something bad. So
I'm not insulting you. I'm just insulting Kevin Hart. Okay,
I like Kevin Hart, and I think he would have done better in this role
I can't really see it.
because this is an American comedy role. Like that, like if you
Yeah,
want to
I
say
know,
like
but I
American
just can't
comedy,
see him playing that kind of villain type thing.
well, I could see him seeing it more than Don Cheadle.
And I can't really, but Don Cheadle is kind of a weird guy in this role, and I enjoy that about it. Where I don't think Kevin Hart would do that.
Okay, well, I really dislike Don Cheadle in this movie, but you know who I dislike, but like I feel bad for. This is my number one in my bad list.
Okay, is it LeBron James?
It's LeBron
But
James.
like, also, don't feel bad because this guy is like a multi millionaire. So who cares? We can insult him as much as we like.
Yeah, but like he's like I don't think anybody's like being like, oh, LeBron James sucks and he is terrible because he's an act. He's not an act. He's a basketball player. And they probably paid him a buttload of money to do this movie. But like there's no like nobody's going into Space Jam 2 and they're like, LeBron James, I'm expecting an Oscar winning performance here, buddy.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean some of his line delivery is I mean it's just awful.
he's
Like
worth
it's so bad.
$1 billion. So,
A
um,
billion?
1 billion. So we can insult him as much as we like. In
Like that one part where like he was looking serious at the Goon Squad, and then he went like, "Were you looking at me?"
No.
I'll do it again for you, but just for you.
Oh. Oh yeah, yeah. I know that bit.
And there was like the weirdest funny face. He's worth $1 billion.
All these like sponsorship deals are insane.
Wow, yeah, I guess so. It's a lot of money. Why did he do this movie?
That's what like he wanted to do this movie, I think, more than him being paid because he said, like, oh, the first Space Jam films are one of my favorite films ever when I was growing up.
Um,
Because I'm a dumb idiot. See, I can insult him as much as I like because he's a billionaire. These are the rules that I've invented. If you're a billionaire, free reign, free reign.
I guess so.
Um, okay, okay,
That okay. You got one? You got a bad thing?
yeah. So do you know DC Fandom?
Yes,
Yeah, and
we
like
talked about it.
we have, and how the event itself, they keep like in between big trailers and stuff, they cut between these two cringy presenters no one's ever heard of before. Sometimes it's like Fluger Borg, and they're just standing in like the CGI dome.
Yeah,
Like this film takes place inside the DC Fandom. Like that,
yeah,
like it's the same place. And the thing is, that is like for DC Fandom, that's fine because it's like who cares because it's like an online presentation type thing, and they had to do it that way because it was the middle of COVID. Here, they're like, oh, that's this movie is like I don't know how much money this movie costs. I'm googling it right now, and it is loading $150 million, and that's the best they could do.
I can't even. Was this movie filmed in COVID times?
Yes,
Oh,
but like still,
yeah,
it takes place. Do you know what I mean? Like I saw this and I was like, this really reminds me of something, and I was like, oh wait, no, it's DC Fandom.
yeah. All of it seems like it was filmed on the same sound stage and just they tried doing it with as much time as they could use LeBron for, and
Yeah,
that was that. Um, yeah, and it doesn't help with like not good dialogue. That's another bad like the dialogue. Some of it is just like some a writer was like, okay, yeah, this is good enough. Like this was the
yeah.
best they could do. I don't think so.
Okay.
What are you looking at?
I'm going through my list at the moment. There's a lot here, but a lot of them are just real nitpicks. I'm trying to like get out a good one for you.
Okay, I see, I see, I
Okay.
see.
Zendaya is in this film.
Her
That's the
name
end of my
is
sentence.
she the name of the bunny?
She's the female bunny. That's Zendaya
Huh.
for no reason.
Yeah, it's not even like I saw Zendaya's when I was watching like the credits. I'm like, oh, Zendaya's in this movie. I wonder who she plays, and I forgot about it. And now she was good. She had some good voice. She had
Yeah, but
it
like
made Looney
that's
Tunes.
just publicity casting. They're like, hey, let's get.
Yeah, literally.
Who cares? Okay, that's just a statement, and like I don't even care.
Okay, here
I
I
do
got
care. I care very deeply about how bad this film is.
you.
Sorry.
You scared me.
Okay, okay, okay,
Okay,
okay.
I got some. Can you relax? Do you need to take a minute?
Yeah,
You
you
need to take a
talk.
lap? Okay. Lazy writing, which I know obviously, but there's one specific thing that I noticed in
Only
this movie
one.
that
Is
got
there
me.
only one?
No, one specific circumstance where they're at the basketball game and the
Yes.
mom's screaming for Dom, her son, but she can't hear him because you can't hear through the force field.
Mm-hmm.
Then nearly 10 minutes go by and Dom just walks up and is like, hey, mom. Or like, mom, is that you? Like,
What do you know I've written down here?
what?
Why
This is
don't
right
they
now.
just why doesn't someone just go up to Dom and be like, oh, by the way, if you win this game, you're going to be trapped here forever. Everyone's going to be trapped here forever. And just like the world's going to end and everyone's dead. Why don't you just tell him that?
You're like, son, Algae Rhythm, he's up to some bad stuff. He's gonna run for president in 2004. because there was a political candidate
Yeah.
in the 2004 election called Al Gore
Yeah.
and Al G Rhythm. Remember
Okay.
when Porky Pig freestyled?
Okay. This is what I was going to bring up. So this was a big, I don't know if you remember, but the Porky Pig freestyle rap was like a big thing when the film first came out. And this was the one thing everyone was talking about just because it was awful. And like I said, I had like this part of the movie spoiled because it all happened in the second half. So I knew the rap was coming. I didn't look it up or anything. I was like, I'll wait until I finish the film. And the interesting thing about this rap is where I think I'm kind of in a unique position to notice this is all I remember of the rap in the first time I watched this film is how long they take to get to the rap when the rap section starts. And like I was the first time I watched this film for that section because I knew this like infamous rap was coming. I was filled with like unrivaled just dread just filled my body because I knew he was about to start rapping and I was just like my whole body went tense and I was like it's about to happen and then there's such a build up to it like
Yeah,
there's a
they
good
really
like
go all
20
in.
seconds. I've googled the lyrics of the rap here. Do you want to hear them?
Can you but like rap it?
Oh no. We're rapping now. We're rapping. Well, people hears the name Daffy overtinking the stuff. When we hear Algie, all we thinking is yuck. I got
Ooh,
LeBron and Bugs, so who should I fear? The best tune squad in over 25 years. If you want to be king of the web, well, that's neat. Here you go. You can short by massaging my wheat feet.
ooh.
Looney Tunes, take a seat. It's time to meet your boy Algie Rhythm, the one who comes to defend. The game is over. Ain't no coming back for y'all, but you wash it up. Tunes, try to play basketball. But Duck, you don't stand a chance. The enemy has the pants. Bunny, never funny. LeBron, gimme your fans. Fans, your fans will finally see you defeated. Lean up the server verse because you never gonna leave it. Hey, Porky, fry 'em, fry 'em. Show 'em who you are, Notorious PIG. What's up? It's Porky Pig. They call me PIG. I'll G step to meet. We don't want no trouble. I was famous before the internet. Since 1935, I've been getting respect. This pig is life. I'm super legit every time I'm out in public. People asking me for pics. Nobody no, this is not sentences. Whoever had written this down has written it down wrong. Nobody knows you when you walk the street. How's your last name Rhythm and you're still off beat?
Ooh.
To the A to the N with all the
Oh,
spoke. Your squad ain't all star. Your squad is all jokes. You drop the bar, most famous of all quotes. This battle is now over. That's all, folks.
that was great.
Am I bad at rapping or is that badly written?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the answer to that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Good. Yeah, just about.
Yeah.
Um, see, when I saw a freestyle rap coming from Porky Pig like a mile away,
What a sentence.
like the minute like I saw Daffy Duck in like the green sweatshirt with the hood up, I'm like, uh-oh. And then like Porky Pig got like the mic, and I'm like, what if they call him the Notorious PIG? And then he walks out and says, he's like, what up? It's the Notorious PIG. And I'm like, okay, this is what we're getting into. And I wasn't disappointed because the like instantly, as soon as the fog started rolling in, I'm like, this is gonna be like if three old white dudes tried writing a rap for Porky Pig.
I really can't get over the sentence that you said just so flippantly. You just went, "Oh yeah," when Porky Pig started rapping. You were just so chill about it, and I was like, what world am I living in?" Like, okay, oh no,
Anyways,
uh,
there's one major nitpick, one huge one I have for this movie.
go on.
When the first time LeBron James enters the serververse,
Mm-hmm.
his hands appear all pixelated. He's looking at his hands, and then like he
Yeah,
fully appears.
yeah.
His hands appear first.
Okay.
but he's looking at his hands.
Yeah.
Like he's like, what is going on? But
Yeah.
then his head appears.
It's like the thing is,
But whoa.
go on.
But they did it again, but they fixed it. They made sure his head appeared first and then his hands.
Interesting.
Lazy.
Can I read you? This is kind of jumping to the very end of the film, but can I read you the last note I've written down where I had like fully lost my mind?
Yeah.
This has no punctuation, so I'm just going to read it. This is going to be like me reading the rap. What is the serververse and how is Bugs in the real world? And why doesn't LeBron James seem bothered by the what the hell is this? What on earth is this film? Why?
Wow.
Because like I don't like okay, this isn't important. And if this was a good film, no one would care. But they just get sucked into the computer.
Yeah.
And do you want to hear a real nitpick? Okay. When they first enter the server room and like this big ball appears and sucks them in, yeah.
Yeah.
But before the ball sucks them in, LeBron says, "What in the Matrix hell?" Okay. And like, this is very Matrix because like they're all in a simulation inside this computer thing, you know? But he said that before he was inside the computer. He just saw a big pixelated ball and said, "What in the Matrix hell?" How did he link that to the Matrix? It's got nothing to do with the Matrix. How did he know what was about to happen?
Well, it kind of looks like a little bit like the baby at the end of the Matrix.
Yeah, but I don't. So you're expecting me to think that the writers were like, "Hey, this thing kind of looks like the baby from the end of the Matrix, so let's make him reference the Matrix."
No, I think. Okay, dude. Okay, you gotta let this go, Dean. They just
Okay.
wanted this to be an IP movie, so they're like, "Where can we get mentioning any of our
While
IPs?"
you're saying that, another note I have here is Granny does Matrix twice.
She does.
Like I thought the first time was bad enough, and like that really stuck with me. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then it happened a second time, and once again, when a film has bad gags, okay, like Holmes and Watson, that has a lot of bad jokes in it.
Imagine having Holmes and Watson on Blu-ray.
The issue with the bad jokes in Holmes and Watson is they really like outstay their welcome. Like they will be eating onions for ages. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The issue with the bad jokes in this film is they're brief, but there's such a build up to all of them that
Yeah.
like this granny bit where she like I know she's gonna do the Matrix again, but she's like, "Oh, let me just like stroll out and then have a conversation and then get into the middle of the court and then I'll do the Matrix."
Yeah. But you know what? The granny did have a good joke in this movie.
Go on.
The martini joke,
Yeah.
which that was funny.
Yeah.
That got a from me.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
all I got.
Okay. I'm trying to see if I've got anything which isn't just insane nitpicks. The commentators are bad.
Yeah, but the guy from Get Out is in it. Is one of them.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what one last thing for me, the whole but dad, I don't want to go to basketball school. I want to go to gaming school where I can learn to game more. That was like I
the
wanted to smash her head into a wall.
the funny thing is, in these films, a lot of the time, you get like the dad figure being like, "Hey, I want you to become a doctor, like a field where like you're going to be successful." And then he's like, "No, I want to play basketball." Or he goes, "No, I want to make video games." But in this film, they're like, "Hey, what are two careers which you're most likely not going to succeed in? Or like most likely aren't going
Yeah.
to be able to get into? Oh, let's have him make video games or play basketball." But also, who cares? I've got two big picture complaints before I have a million nitpicks, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Number one, this game of basketball at the end,
Dom
fun
bomb.
Dom
Doom.
ball, fundamentally doesn't work because there are no rules to it and there are no set parameters. So it's very difficult to care about this game of basketball because like anything can happen and like it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah. There's no like, oh, he can do this. It's just like LeBron has to learn how to cheat.
Yeah. Oh, he does. Yeah, exactly. And another thing is, you kind of mentioned this, is this film just piles stakes upon stakes upon stakes upon stakes. Like there are so many times where I'm like, oh, this film has set up the stakes. And then Algae Rhythm's like, no, and I'll never return your son. And also, I'm going to keep everyone trapped here. And also, I'm going to delete the Looney Tunes. And also, you're going to be in all these films. And also, these people that are stuck here are not going to return to their bodies. So surely, like, these people who are like in planes and stuff, people are going to die.
Well, they got sucked in, like their bodies disappeared. So
Yeah, but like my question is, so let's say there's a single mum with this baby, okay, and then she disappears, and now this baby is locked in a hot car. When she returns, her baby's dead in the car.
oh, yeah, that's true.
It's like the Thanos snap where they're like, oh, and everyone returns in the right place, you know?
Okay. Do
I've
you want to shout out some of your Netflix, or you still got one more?
okay. I think this has got a very stereotypical opening.
Okay.
I think the video game designing is dumb because he has a scanner and a tambourine, and that's all we see him lose. I think LeBron James's character is fundamentally flawed because the movie keeps telling us, oh yeah, by the way, we should all think this guy's the best guy in the world, but also think he's a massive douche. So like it kind of contradicts itself. Um, so and its slight issue with the Looney Tunes is that a lot of the Looney Tunes characters do have unique personalities, and this film kind of ignores them and give most of them the same personality.
Yeah, that's true, but they're fun.
Yeah, but
So
just what I have written here. They do a bit where they this film is constantly like trying to speed run references, you know?
yeah,
Like Chip and Dale is similar in the way it uses IPs, but is better.
it is better. Yeah.
When they land back on Toon World, they only have an hour left on the countdown when they had 24 hours at the start. And I'm so confused how that lasted 23 hours.
I guess time maybe doesn't work the same because like also that hour went by really quick.
Yeah, it really, but you know, just choose a different time on the timer. Because I don't think LeBron James was missing for 24 hours either.
No, he wasn't. Oops.
Yeah.
Oopsies.
Okay. I'm trying to. I've said all this. Okay. So the issue with all these background characters is number one, they look like they're just in costumes, as you would say.
Yeah.
And there's only one layer of them. There's just like so you see these crowds stretching back infinitely, but then you look and there's only like people on the front row, and it's just Batman villains and men in suits, and then like the Wicked Witch of the West, and that's it.
And Clockwork Orange and The Mask and Pennywise.
And the Night King.
And the Night King.
But like, you know, it's just like one layer of them, and then it's just nothing behind them.
Yeah, it's true, but like also, I don't know. That's technically a nitpick. So yeah, I agree with you.
Okay. During the basketball games, what do you know when Don Cheadle comes on? That's something we didn't actually discuss is how bad he looks. Mega Don Cheadle.
Oh, Megadon. Yeah, Megadon looked terrible. It looks so weird.
The example that it reminded me of isn't as bad, like at all, but it reminds me of Big Ryan Reynolds in Free Guy.
Yeah, but way worse.
Yeah.
Like way worse.
That was supposed to be like laughed at though, Big Ryan Reynolds in Free Guy.
Right. This is supposed to be like, oh, he's so scary now.
Yeah. And when he comes onto the game, the Looney Tunes just suddenly lose their Looney Tune-ness just because they're losing.
Right.
And also, my final nitpick is there's a Bugs Bunny death fake out.
Yeah, even when it's explicitly stated that, oh, Looney Tunes don't die.
Yeah. They give him a death fake out, and I just thought it was pointless. And then also, at the end of the film, he's in the real world.
They don't explain it. Don't explain like, how can they do that?
Because he's like this is set inside a computer, and then he's just. I really think this film ends with LeBron James like just absolutely cracking. He had like billions of people like relying on him to survive, and I
Oh,
think the
that'd be
pressure
so
got to him,
funny.
and he snapped.
Should we make this movie like a psychological thriller?
Oh, I'm definitely losing my
We make
mind.
a sequelify to Space Jam 2: A New Legacy.
It's like it is. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I think it's time we fix this movie.
Uh. Okay. I have an idea.
What's your
I
idea?
don't know how much you're going to agree with this. So this film is like intrinsically built upon this idea of using IPs, but it does that badly.
Mm-hmm.
So what if? Do you know the bit where he's like with Bugs Bunny and he's like, "Hey, here's this. This is my perfect basketball team. We get Superman and blah blah blah." What if he got that team?
And then what?
And that's the film. Him going to these universes and being like, "Hey, Neo from the Matrix," or I mean, maybe that's a bad example because you're not going to get Keanu, but like he gets these cool characters like the Iron Giant, and you still have like Bugs Bunny being the um on the team, and you get that duck guy being the manager and stuff like that. But then I think if you're gonna do IPs, commit to it and be like actually involve them in the plot instead of just have them stand there and cheer.
But like it could be argued that like, well, Spaceship is like a Looney Tune, like the Looney Tunes needs to be the main team.
I says who, there's one film, and like yes, it sets the precedent for that, but I don't think there's anything that says that has to be the case.
I think like what about like how about we make it so that like that's what he has Looney Tunes with him, but the all the people from the different universes are like all like the main hero. Well, no, that wouldn't even work either. Like let's say he gets the ones and like the Looney Tunes are sad that like LeBron James isn't using them, and then at the very end, all the people he chose are like beaten by you know the Goon Squad, and then LeBron James is like,
I have
"I
an
need your
idea.
help." What?
So he gets his team and he's like, yeah, this is the perfect team. This is going to work so well. And they start playing and they keep losing because they're not working as a team.
Okay, this is what I was thinking, but then
Then
I'm
he
like,
goes,
okay, but if it's Superman and Harry Potter, they're gonna work together because they're both really like they're good protagonists. So that's where it falls apart. It's like,
yeah, but like you're going to have, but it's going to be like Superman and the Iron Giant and King Kong. And like,
okay, sure, sure,
I
we can
think
do
you
that.
can go, oh, they're just not working well together as a team.
Henry Cavill as Superman.
Yeah. No, you don't see above the neck.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that's a good joke. I have another nitpick. Sorry to get that.
What?
Like the other thing about the just having the characters only stand there on the sideline, like them like cheering and then changing sides halfway through the game annoys me because at the start they're all on algorithm side and then they change their mind because they see a touching moment between LeBron and his son. And like, why would Pennywise the clown and the Night King and people like that give a fuck?
Would it
They
be
don't care.
funny? Would it be funny if like the IP start fighting with the civilians and there's like a war going on outside this basketball game?
I don't think that would be that funny because it's just the mask and Pennywise the clown and like an army of White Walkers murdering everyone. Like, there's no other way that's gonna happen. It's just
uh,
so much murder. They're all murderers on the sideline. Apart from
yeah, they
like
kind of are.
Batman, they're all murderers.
Um,
Oh, don't even get me started on what the Clockwork Orange characters will be doing.
so how so okay, but how do we fix this movie?
The big question is you can't just go, hey, LeBron, act better, you know?
do we delay this movie 2 years so we can send LeBron to acting classes?
Honestly, I think 60% of that problem will be solved with a better script. And
Okay.
if the film itself is good, then I wouldn't care if LeBron is an amazing actor because, like you said, he's not an actor.
Right.
Like when Don Cheadle isn't doing very well, that annoys me because that guy is an actor. LeBron James isn't an actor, so I think we can get away with just him
So
being
how do we
a
make the
bit
script
crap.
better?
I mean, I could just say
Ignoring
better
dialogue.
dialogue.
Okay, but we can't say that. What we have to let's okay, fine. Let's say better dialogue, but we have to change something about the story with that besides
Yeah, like we
him.
need to change his relationship with his son. We need to change how the movie uses IPs. We need to change how the rules of the basketball work and maybe how the serververse work. And we need to change algae rhythm. And there's a lot. But there's perhaps too much.
Um I think one thing like it'd be interesting if like the Looney Tunes or would be like they when they step onto the stage, considering it is a game, they don't have unlimited powers. Like Superman can only do a certain set of moves, King Kong can only do a certain set of moves, and like with them not being at their like full potential and having to work as a team, that's when everything kind of falls apart.
Yeah, I think if you just like actually give the basketball game rules and be like, hey, you can't fly because this is a game of basketball. And then I think like putting roadblocks like that and not letting the characters just be like, oh, heat vision, oh, I'm King Kong, that sort of thing. I think that would make it more interesting.
Well, the same applies to the Looney Tunes.
That's true.
But I think just like we could just use them working as a team better, being able to use
Yeah.
combos together would be really cool.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
But like how we give it we need to give the basketball game like parameters and rules. But I think how you do it is on the court you can do what you like, and perhaps there's still power-ups, but you just get rid of style points and it's just scored like a normal game of basketball.
Yeah.
And then you can still have power-ups and you can still have cool CGI-ness, which this film is really desperate to do.
Yeah.
Question.
No.
In our version of this film, are the Looney Tunes becoming CGI as what?
No. We can keep it 2D because
Yeah.
it's cool when it's 2D.
Mm-hmm. It didn't really bother me when they went all CGI'd.
Me either, but like I would have preferred them to be 2D
Yeah.
because that would also create for like it'd be really cool to see like a 2D and like 2D Bugs Bunny go up against like a fire thing, like being able to combine 3D CGI with 2D CGI with two different characters.
Yeah.
I think it'd just be interesting to look at, if anything.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Do you want to hear my um small change, which I think is I'd really enjoy this movie more?
Sure.
So do you know I had a little complaint about the commentators?
Yeah.
You choose two characters that are Warner Brothers characters who are a bit, to be the commentators, and I think that would be fun. And one of them is Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
Just have him
Yes.
making ice puns the entire time. He's like,
Yes.
oh, that was a cold move.
Should we make the other one like Batman?
What if it's like The Mask and you just have like
Jim Carrey and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
this cameo in Space Jam 2?
Oh,
Oh.
I like that idea. Okay.
Because I think we should just drop the idea of everyone in the world being sucked into the serververse.
Yeah, I think it should just stay towards him and his son being trapped there forever.
Maybe his family, because I like that
Okay.
adds,
Yeah.
that adds a layer there because then they can communicate and whatever else.
So this is bringing me to my main. Well, also we need to recast Algae, but also my main thing is like we do need to recast him. I saw that little hesitation on your face.
No, no, that hesitation was me thinking who I'd choose.
Oh, the relationship between LeBron and his son, like that entire arc.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Um.
Do we keep it the same or like what do we change about it to make it like interesting? Am I me moving in my chair?
Um.
I think upon like saying it out loud, I think the only way we fit it needs to stay the same.
I think you can change it in ways being like, just get rid of the whole camp idea. Don't have the entire
Yeah,
thrust of this film being like, hey, I want to go to this camp. No, you can't go to that camp. Just
you
get
need
rid
to
of that.
go to this camp.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
honestly, I found it a bit camp.
I see what you did there. Okay,
That was better than any joke in that movie.
so do we have what else do we need to change up the movie? Do we have the movie?
We're getting there. Can I give you my a couple ideas for recasting Algie?
Oh, yes.
My first suggestion is like a Will Smith type,
Yeah.
or like a Chris Rock.
I think the Chris Rock was one I had on my mind too. I think that would be interesting. Or like Chris Tucker.
I don't know who that is.
Uh, uh, okay, I'm looking up actors that could possibly play it. No, no. Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I did think that, but he's Eddie Murphy.
That's true. We
I
don't
don't
need
want to
Eddie
track
Murphy.
Arnold, Jim Carrey, and
Oh, you know who I think could actually be really good in this?
um,
Jamie Foxx.
yeah. What does Jamie Foxx bring to this that Don Cheadle doesn't?
Well, Jamie Foxx comes from a comedic back, like he like started with stand-up comedy,
Yeah,
and he's a
but
funny dude. And I think he'd have more natural charisma to be able to do this without it seeming cringy.
okay. There's so much in this film I don't like that every like second I have another thought being like, oh, what will I change about that?
So okay, let's choose. I put okay. Here's what we should do. Choose your top pick for the recast of LG.
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. Okay, mine is Jamie Foxx, and we're gonna flip for it.
I just don't I don't see how Jamie Foxx would be that different from Don Cheadle if you give him the same script.
Fine,
You know?
we can do Chris Rock.
We can flip for it.
No, 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 no. You
Okay.
seem pretty convinced.
I just hate this movie.
Uh so fun
I
fact,
haven't been like this since we watched Holmes and Watson.
when Dean said earlier in the podcast that our producer asked us to do this, that was a lie.
Wow, well, our producer chose a random number.
Okay, so I'm the producer, guys. Plot twist.
We have a list of bad films,
Yeah.
and I asked Harlan to choose a random number, and this is the number he chose.
You want me to say it or are you gonna find it?
You can say it.
Was it 53?
Something like that. That's a lot of bad movies.
There are a lot of bad movies, but I said one number and I just guessed. I'm like, 53.
But like it could have been worse than Space Jam: A New Legacy. I
Could have
know
been
that
Cats.
sounds.
I'm
Yeah.
dreading the day we do Cats.
Is that the only film that's worse than? But like also, yeah, that's probably the only. This is the only film I'd want to watch least than Cats.
Yeah.
Because there's stuff on there like Fred, the movie, which is arguably a worse film than this.
I would watch Fred the movie and enjoy myself. I love Fred the movie, bro.
Oh,
This is
first,
the end of the line.
sorry,
What?
That's
Get
the
off the bus.
that's the second crazy sentence you've said today after the Porky Pig rap incident of
Dude, if I walk in to the like to the living room and I see Friday movie on, I am sitting down and I'm watching that movie. I mean, the John Cena cameo.
oh, you're just
Come
a
on.
oh, I'm Harlan and I love sucking John Cena's cock. Sorry, that was too far.
Whoa. You need to calm down.
That's being edited out. It's probably, I'm just feeling so much, and this is a hot room. Okay, let's get back to Space Jam.
Okay. Do we
John
have the
Cena is
movie?
playing Algae Rhythm. Don't act like he couldn't do it. Okay. So,
Do we have the movie?
okay, let me think. What is Algae Rhythm's plan here? Is it the same thing?
I think he's just mad at LeBron for calling him stupid and
Yeah.
worthless.
But can we add like a bit more like, hey, we're actually making fun of Warner Brothers in this scene instead of like accidentally making fun of Warner Brothers.
I think we should say like he's like angry at Warner Brothers that they're not using him to his full potential because he's a fully functioning AI and they're just
Yeah.
using him for like tourism.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could be it.
I what if it is revealed that like all of Warner Brothers is run by this machine and they make jokes like, hey, and this is why we released this bad film, and they make jokes like that, and like the only reason he does all of this is because LeBron says no to being in the films.
Wait, what? So I was following you to the very end there.
So the only reason he does all this is because LeBron is like, no, I'm not going to agree to this.
And he's getting in the way of him.
Yeah, instead of him being annoyed with Warner Brothers, because I think there's a bit of meta comedy you can do.
Yeah, okay.
We didn't mention how it's weird that Steven Yeun is in this movie.
Yeah, for like 5 minutes with Sarah Silverman. Not even.
It's like, yeah, 30 seconds. And he's a great actor. Maybe
Yeah, we love
play
Steven
Algae
Yeun.
Rhythm. He could do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else?
I don't think so.
Are we still keeping the whole, hey, my son's designed this video game about basketball?
Yeah, we have to because we kept it in the third act.
Yeah. But like, is he still playing for the Goon Squad in the third act?
Yes.
But then why doesn't LeBron just go, hey, by the way, you're going to be trapped here?
The movie needs to movie.
No, but we can come up for reasons for that not to be the case.
Maybe they can't talk to the other team while the game hasn't started. Like there's like another block in the way. So
what
he's
if
trying
like
to tell him.
what if we just get one scene where he tries to do it and then he's just like Chris Rock stops him?
Okay.
I think that's all that's needed, you know?
Sure. Let's do that.
Okay. Okay, I'm just looking at my immense list of bad things here.
Are we gonna type this out?
I'm just thinking if there's anything else. Because there's so much here. Are we keeping the Porky Pig rap? Obviously we are.
Yeah. We need to get rid of CGI Don Cheadle.
I'm also like what do you do at the end there is the question. What's the big oh no, this guy's big CGI Chris Rock.
Dude, honestly, that would make the movie like so much better. Or he turns. Oh, I don't think that's Warner Brothers. But could you imagine if he turned into a big? He turned into the zebra from Madagascar.
That's DreamWorks.
I know. Would that be awesome?
Yeah, they did it. They did that in Chip and Dale. So who knows? I think what's the big?
We have him. Can we have him do that? Oh my god.
Okay, we can just say in this is a made up thing. Like what we're doing.
We can do that.
Why don't we just make LeBron James good at acting and win an Oscar for this film?
Yeah.
Okay.
And not get slapped while he's there.
Yeah. By Chris Rock for being so annoyed that he didn't win Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we have everything we need and
Woo,
an
woo, 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 woo,
whole
woo.
film. Okay, okay.
Come on, Dean.
Every time I close my eyes, I see algae rhythm. Okay. So, like, the start of the film is very similar. We are just getting rid of that opening scene of a young LeBron James altogether because it's just a bit, you know, stereo. It's a bit cliche. But and we're getting rid of the whole camps thing as well. The plot of, like, the thrust of the movie is kind of the same, with his son wanting to make video games and he's really talented at it, while LeBron is just basketball, basketball, basketball. But there's not like, oh, there's a camp I want to go to next week. Basically, Algae Rhythm creates all of Warner Brothers movies, and like Warner Brothers hide this from the public, but that's why there's bad movies like Justice League, and that's a joke they say in the film. They're like, "Oh, we make bad films." Oh no, I accidentally deleted the Batgirl file. LeBron James is recruited like he is in this film, and he's like, "Oh no, I don't want to do that." So he leaves, and then Warner Brothers and Algae like trick him into going to the server room, and he is absorbed once again into not the DC fandom. It looks better than that, and like there's a bit more substance to it. And like they go, oh yeah, we're gonna have to play a game of Don Ball. If I win, then you have to be in all my movies, and you're stuck here forever. But if you win, then you can go free. Blah blah blah, and that's the deal. Question: in the original film, why didn't Algae Rhythm just keep him there anyway? Who cares? Okay.
Because the movie.
Movie. So LeBron and Bugs have the same sequence on Toons World because that's fine. And then, but like the Toons are already there, so we don't need to go recruiting the Toons. Instead, they go and recruit a team of A-listers like Iron Giant and Superman and King Kong and the Clockwork Orange people. And to make the proest of all the basketball teams. And then the basketball game comes because there wasn't a 24-hour countdown. And the team isn't playing well together because they're not a team. They don't know each other. They don't know how each other play, and they're kind of meshing together. So it comes to halftime, and LeBron James.
Wait. There's one more thing. There's like restrictions on their powers. They can't go willy nilly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Superman
Like this game is you don't get style points in this game either. It's like you do get power ups and cool things like that, but
kind of similar to how like in multiverses when you're a Superman you can fly and do certain things, but you can't do like everything Superman can do.
sure. Also, Arnie as Mr. Freeze and the Mask are commentating.
Yeah.
And Arnie keeps making really good ice puns.
Ooh, that was cold.
Oh, revenge is a dish best served cold. And Chris Rock is playing Algae Rhythm, by the way. I don't know if I said that. And then at the end of the game, he decides to join in normal sized and he cheats, but then the Tunes do the same cool glitch and they win. But
wait. We're not making Chris Rock the zebra from Madagascar.
Oh, sorry, he becomes the zebra from Madagascar and cheats.
Yes.
And he's not a zebra from Madagascar, he's a cheetah from Madagascar. But tis.
Oh.
And then LeBron James and the Looney Tunes have a heartfelt goodbye, and he returns to the real world without Bugs Bunny following him.
Nice.
We
did it. We made Space Jam 2 a new legacy a slight bit better.
What would you give Space Jam Legacy out of 10, the original?
A 4.
I would give it like a 2.
And what would you give our film?
6.
Yeah, I give it a 6. It's still not a very good movie, but we still kept like the foundations of it and made it.
We could have done a new film about Don Cheadle going on a road trip with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Chris Rock.
You're just still on this.
I thought that guy looked quite a bit. The Pennywise the Clown looked nothing like Pennywise the Clown, and the Mask looked nothing like the Mask. But I thought Mr. Freeze looked a bit like Mr. Freeze.
Sure.
And the Penguin, there were 2 penguins. The Danny DeVito penguin looked quite like the Danny DeVito penguin. And the Adam West Batman was doing like Adam West dance moves. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, no, I did.
I appreciated that.
I did. Uh,
We have fun here at H.
we have fun. We have fun.
What? Okay. Holland, where can the listeners find you if they don't already know you?
At Fluffy Duffy on. Thanks for giving me a shout out, Dean. I really appreciate it. Fluffy Duffy on TikTok and YouTube and all things social media.
Spelt with an IE both times.
IE both times.
I'm Dean's Beans everywhere with 2 underscores. And we have an Instagram account, HD Movie Talk Pod.
Yes, we
And
do.
if you've got questions or whatever for us, email us at hdmovietalkpod@gmail.com. HD Movie Talk also has a TikTok.
Yes.
And I think that's everything. Who knows what we'll do next week?
Oh, and fun fact.
Go on. You have to say you have to say it.
Oh, also we forgot to say, the skunk, the Looney Tunes skunk, is gonna be in this. But he's not gonna be French. He's gonna be Italian.
Oh,
What do you think
is
of that?
there a Looney Tunes character that was cancelled? Sorry for derailing your segue.
I'm not sure. Let me look it
like
up.
Pepe Le Pew was cancelled. Have I made that up? Anyway, Mamma Mia. Whatever. Are you googling Looney Tunes character?
No, I'm trying to see if House of Gucci is made by Warner Bros. It's not.
Who made it?
By Universal.
Oh, what a universally fine film. Okay.
Adios, everybody.
Pepe Le Pew.
Oh, Pepe Le Pew.
Is he? Yeah, he was cancelled, wasn't he?
Oh, was he? Probably. I mean, he kind of like harasses that cat. So.
Okay. Thank you for listening.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Adios,
you, Jenny.
guys.
I already said adios. So.
Ah, fuck.